As a young child, I disliked staying at my grandparents' house. My grandparents didn't have a lot of interesting old people stories. And in retrospect, I think they were already going pretty senile. I didn't have any siblings, so I couldn't forge bonding memories with a brother or sister by playing games that would be boring at home, but elevated in enjoyment due to the unique environment. My grandparents would go to bed at 8 p.m. at the latest, without even telling me or bothering to put me in bed, leaving me to decide on my own when it was my bedtime. All alone in the dark, in a very lonely house. And to top it all off, they didn't even have cable. Whenever my parents had me stay the weekend at Grandma and Grandpa's house, I'd spend most of my time reading the old books they had or watching TV on their basement television. One time, I drank way too much of their stockpile of soda and ended up awake well into the early morning. And while I was channel surfing through endless loops of cycling through the same 10 channels due to most of it being just dead air, I suddenly discovered an unnumbered channel called the Trivia Channel. There was a title card with the channel name and instructions. Press the menu button on your remote controller to join the Trivia Channel, it read. And so I followed its instructions. And then the next card had me enter my name with a video game style keypad, using the channel and volume arrows on the remote along with the TV button to select letters. The next card instructed me on how to play. Each quiz had 10 questions, with answers labeled A through D, which I would select using the 1 through 4 buttons on the remote. I don't remember much more about how it worked, but I do know that less difficult quizzes had a green backdrop, while the more difficult ones had an orange backdrop. And there was some kind of point accumulation system that tallied up your score. As a child, this was all perfectly explainable by the magic of technology. I didn't know at the time that the ability to interact with a station in this way should have been an extreme violation of the television set's FFC device transmission compliance. I just figured it was a cool new interactive feature of the television. This was during the rise of the World Wide Web and the digital age, so it seemed perfect in keeping with the times to me. What did I know? Whenever I stayed overnight at my grandparents' house, I'd play these quizzes on the Trivia Channel, which would require me to stay up until about 1 a.m. before I could even find the channel. I knew there were other kids, or at least people, playing the channel, because at the end of every quiz, a leaderboard would be displayed for a few moments, showing those who had the top 10 scores. The quiz questions were all elementary school level, and being a smart kid, I quickly got on the leaderboard. And since my parents sent me to Grandma and Grandpa's house irregularly, I could never find the channel on our own television. My place on the leaderboard would drop a few notches, but I was always able to stay on the main display, which made me think that not many other kids had discovered the channel as I had. One night, I saw a card on the Trivia Channel saying that since I was ranked in the top 5 on the leaderboard, that I was eligible to take a special tournament quiz. The kids at the top 3 scores on the quiz would win a free trip to Disneyland. I pressed the menu button on my remote to begin the quiz. The backdrop was blue this time, and each question had 5 answer options. The questions themselves were also more difficult, being ones that only kids beyond their learning level would be able to answer. And there was hundreds of them. The only question I actually remember from this or any of the other Trivia Channel quizzes was the very last one. Who were the black and tans? It asked. And having answered this question correctly, I was given a score of 69 out of 100. And then I saw a card saying, "Congratulations, you've gotten one of the top 3 scores. Your prize will arrive shortly." I stared at the screen for a few moments, feeling confused, as I was led on to believe that the prize was supposed to be a trip to Disneyland instead. And while I was still looking at the screen displaying my prize, the room was flooded in a dim glow. The light was coming from the small basement windows at the top of one of the walls, which faced the subdivision street. There was a vehicle outside. I could hear the engine and saw the headlights as I peered through the window in the bushes outside, idling just 2 or 3 meters away from me. I looked back at the screen, and it read, "Your prize is here. Go claim your prize." I was struck with fear and crept up the stairs. I suddenly heard the phone ring and quickly bolted back downstairs to slam down the receiver on the basement phone before going back up, creeping as quickly and quietly as I could to the guest bedroom and peering down through the blinds in the bedroom window. I could see the vehicle, a dark van. I silently watched it in hiding. It stayed there for several minutes before driving off. I never visited the trivia channel again. I tried not to think much about the experience as the years went by. But recently, I was given a vivid reminder. I was surfing channels late at night in my apartment when I came across a screen with a blue backdrop. It had plain white text that read, "There's still time to claim your prize." My apartment is on the first floor. Outside my kitchen window, I could see a dark van in the parking lot, its headlights on.